It's almost too easy to forget when you see how large and advanced the fandom has become, how all this came about. On February 20th, one of the first furries passed on. Mark Merlino, known as Cy Sable, was creating anthropomorphic content back in the 1970s. There were only 6 of them at first, Fred Patton being one. Patton, who passed on in 2018, was instrumental in the development of the genre of furry literature, as well as preserving fandom history. Out of this initial social club, more soon joined, and by 1989, conference was held at a Holiday Inn in Costa Mesa, California. This was the first ever furry convention. Prior to this time, furries gathered at science fiction conventions or events. Southern California was a mecca for early furry fandom, and almost all the early founders had ties to the area. Still, these first conventions were humble compared to what one would expect to see at a modern convention. Looking back, some may find it cringe or even weird, but everything has to start somewhere, and these first innovators approached this new fandom with passion and creativity, building a world of beautiful fantasy, bringing to life a place where you can escape the hardships of life and transcend the mundane. Mark Merlino created the first hybrid species, the skiltaire, back in 1971. Anthropomorphic weasel-like sentient aliens, they became immensely popular. The skiltaire were featured in art, stories, and even fursuits. One of the early focuses of the fandom were aliens, the concept that anthropomorphic beings could very well exist in another universe, or perhaps in a future where interstellar travel was the norm. Merlino's out-of-the-box creativity and attention to detail would become the basis for everything the fandom has become to so many. The skiltaire also became the name for Mark Merlino's house, which he opened in 1980 as a gathering place for furries. The prancing skiltaire, also in Southern California, was the site of many parties and get-togethers over the years, and became an inspiration over time for other such houses around the world. Neil Koyama Wilchel, a longtime resident of the skiltaire, owned First Light Internet services, as well as Tiger Den Internet. These were key in developing the muck and bulletin board systems that not only helped furries connect across the country and eventually the world, but laid the basis for modern internet technology. It's no exaggeration that furries were instrumental in building the internet. Southern California was not only the furry capital, it was also home to Silicon Valley, and these two interests overlapped frequently. Not only did a lot of furries have an interest in computer science, but it became a necessity to connect and grow the community. Mark Merlino was a networking engineer, and the prancing skiltaire became technologically advanced ahead of its time. But beyond being a hub of technical innovation, the skiltaire house was a safe haven, not only a place for social gatherings, but a place where Mark would help furries who needed a place to stay and a job by internships in his tech company. It was suggested that his birthday, May 12th, become a fandom holiday. I think that would be a good thing, to commemorate one of those who helped build everything we now enjoy. When the fandom was smaller, maybe there was a greater emphasis on knowing and helping each other. As the fandom has grown, it's still maintained a healthy sense of community. But with the size increase, sadly also has come a lot of drama and pain. In remembering our past and those who contributed so much, we can guarantee our future.